Ah, jeez, when was the last time anyone cleaned up in here? Man, has it been 5 months? Jeez, we gotta get the ball rolling. But this place needs to clean up. Let's see here. I have this upgrade matrix that Hannah was helping me with. So let's go ahead and install that. Let's load those batteries. Let's see what this puppy can do. Let's turn this baby on. Alright, that kind of sounds like... Oh, gee! No! Shit! Oh my god! Where did that even come from? Wait! Where's the bathroom? Hey, welcome back at long last to ShallowCast. Welcome back
to the thing that we do.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, the thing that we do every couple months.
It's been, I don't know, like 5 months or something?
Something like that.
A stupid amount of time.
Yeah, it was,
yeah, it's been way too long.
Some of us decided to make, an extra human in their lives, and so...
Yeah, like, as far as I can tell, Xander and his fiancée found a small animal or something, and they took it back to their house, and it's just been there ever since, is what happened?
Apparently it's currently sleeping, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
That's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's basically what happened. Yeah, we found a small animal on the side of the road and took it home and gave it a name and raised it as our own child.
Well, I mean, to be fair, part of the reason we were gone for so long is because the last episode we recorded honestly, it was a good episode. We did a Guardians of the Galaxy review, and we talked about some other things that I'm sure were very interesting. We did a quiz, which was going to be really fun, and then I kind of lost the idea. So anyway, what happened was we weren't able to do that episode, and we're back with this one now that our schedules have cooled down a little bit.
Yay, schedules.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually a New Year's resolution that I made on our behalf, was to try and get bi-weekly podcasts going. I don't think it's going to happen, but we definitely want to start getting more content out, especially because this year looks like it's going to be ripe with stuff to talk about. So
yeah, it's going to be a
good
year.
I'm not informed of this New Year's resolution, but I'm okay with it.
Well, my New Year's resolution was to unintentionally sabotage more episode recordings, so this works out really nicely for all of us.
That makes sense, actually, and I suppose I should come up with a New Year's resolution.
I made like 5.
Are you going to keep any of them? They're all just like working out and making more money and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Do not kill the new small animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which
that's a good
was
one.
Basically my thought process for that entire 9 months is I would go to sleep thinking, please still be here when I wake up. And now, like, when I was like the whole gestation period and like the first month of her life, I was just like, just please be here when I wake up. And then now that she's 3 months old, it's just like, yeah, you're fine.
Well, and then, like, there were a couple mornings where you got up and she, like, was dragging a suitcase to the door and had a little hat and stuff, and you had to drag her back into the house, is what I heard.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, you've come pretty close.
Yeah, she temporarily learned fine motor function and ambulation. So, it's weird. She can't even hold her head up anymore. Well, she can hold her head up, but she can't really sit up. So, it's weird. She temporarily gained a boost in motor skills, and then it went away.
Just be glad she didn't get all the way to the
from her dad.
Yeah, well, both cars have a beeper, so she wouldn't have been able to get into them anyway.
Okay.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Childproof cars.
So, we've got stuff to talk about this ShallowCast, which, shocking, I know. Things have been happening in the world of fiction and media in general, and as is our wont, we are talking about them and trying to spin them into comedy when we can. If I remember right, we've got a few different comic book related things to talk about this episode. Not comic books so much as Marvel, which is not as heavy on comic books as it used to be, I suppose. We've also got a quiz, which Xander somehow masterminded. We came up with the idea, stolen from another podcast we love, to quiz each other on various topics and, keep score of who was able to guess correctly with the most. It's a concept of a quiz. I'm not going to explain the concept of a quiz.
Three-fourths of the description, you're going to decide not to explain it.
Okay. Yeah, no, the concept of a quiz is basically, there's at least 2 people involved, one of whom has a list of questions and the answers to those questions. Then they ask the questions of the other person, but they don't tell them the answers. The other person has to provide those answers for them, and then they're graded based on how many of those answers were correct.
Oh, that's a quiz. Wait, so... Okay, so I guess I got that and a rodeo mixed up somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but I'll have to Google that later.
I told... Well, that's the rodeo thing. That's why there's a clown in here. Can we... Okay.
Okay, it's one of the reasons.
I don't want to... I don't...
So,
all right. Well, so ignoring the clown in the room.
Not as big as an elephant, but that ass is
but
close. I will
scarier.
say.
Anyway,
silence. That's
go on, Xander.
Yeah, okay.
You had stuff to
so
say.
going off the whole concept of a quiz, do you guys believe in that whole theory or whatever, the idea of being a bad test taker, do you believe that's a thing? Or is that just a bunch of crap? And basically, if you're a bad test taker, that means you're just kind of not very bright.
That is a very loaded way to phrase that question.
That is a very loaded way to phrase that question. I believe test anxiety is totally a thing, but that doesn't mean that you're not bright.
Yeah, the test environment itself can be set up in such a way to make it really difficult to succeed. Not just as far as people grading on curves and scales that aren't fair to certain people, but the very act of you drag everyone into this room and they're very intimidated. It's a very tense period with a very strict time requirement.
My physics teacher tried to alleviate that by making every quiz kind of pop culture related. Heck, one physics quiz related to the ship, the crew of the Enterprise, meaning Bart Simpson.
I'm all right with that.
When you said my physics teacher and quizzes, I was expecting my physics teacher gave us all our quizzes on Mobius strips or something interesting like that.
No, that was my physics teacher.
He did have a trebuchet that we took out and used a couple of times.
Oh, I'm so jealous. We only had a catapult.
This is the only time I've ever cared about anything a
They're
public school
practically
kid's
the
ever
same
done.
thing. A little bit.
No, they're not. They're functionally very different.
Oh, well, that's news to me.
Today on Trebuchet Talk, we're going to finally compare catapults to trebuchets the way I've always wanted to, because I finally have this platform for my anti-catapult discussion.
Big shock. No trebuchets or catapults announced at CES.
Really? Intel didn't have a trebuchet there? I'm really surprised. I heard that Intel was working on a trebuchet. I thought that was their whole thing this year, was finally bringing those back.
No, but you could probably print one with a big-ass 3D printer they're making at HP.
Well, a small 3D printer, if you have enough materials, would do it over a long enough period of time. Anyway, you went to CES, is that right?
I did. I only went one day this week because I couldn't get enough time off of work, and also traffic is a nightmare.
Well,
so
I
I'm just
I actually had a question about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so CES. I know that CES is an acronym.
Yes.
What is an acronym?
An acronym is when you take a bunch of words, chop off the first letter, and then smush them together in order to make it shorter and easier to communicate with.
That sounds barbaric.
You put together a whole bunch of words without their first letters?
No. You smush together the first letters of a bunch of words.
And then those letters make a word?
Yeah, not so much. Sometimes. But, cause ASAP, which of course stands for as soon as possible, is easily, said as one word. But of course, with CES, which is Consumer Electronics Show, it's just listing the letters.
I thought ASAP came from old fables. It was all satyrs or pushovers.
No, that's ASAP.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So you went to CES, which is an acronym. So you were at a big convention for consumer acronyms?
No, I was at a big convention for consumer electronics.
Electronic acronyms. That's pretty cool.
I guess that's technically accurate.
There's a lot of acronyms in technology.
That's true, actually. It's a very acronym-heavy environment.
It is, because, heck, you have IBM, you have CPU, you have SDD, you have USB.
You have ID10T.
Also, apparently they're developing...
That's not an acronym, actually. There's some other word for that. It's a different kind of neologism, and I don't remember what it is.
Oh, the ID10T error? Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's not an acronym, though. It's something... I love how I went from pretending I don't know what an acronym... Yeah, PEBCAC is an acronym. I like how I went from pretending not to know what an acronym is to using the word neologisms in a sentence.
Yeah. But basically, what this cable they've developed is, it's called USB-C, I think. It's basically a double-sided micro USB cable that can push 10 gigs a second and 100 volts of power.
Oh, is this that one that they...
Yeah, so you can basically charge your laptop with a micro USB cord.
Is this that one that people got all freaked out about because it meant that you could plug it into the port both ways and people didn't, for some reason, have issues plugging in USB ports anymore? Because that was a big thing on Tumblr, was finally we don't have to get in the wrong USB, put it in upside down the USB port. I'm like, no, look at it's not an issue.
It's basically
That's that USB port?
Yeah, it's basically a universal idea of the lightning cable.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like the lightning cable.
I do too.
We're
biased, but we like the lightning cable.
I've just burned through biased. 6 of them in the last 2 years.
I'm still a little bummed I have nothing that uses my Thunderbolt ports.
Lightning cables.
I'm not chewing on them. The neck design is shit. But anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff at CES. The big thing is 3D printing is really taking over.
It's so hot right now.
It is. What else was I saying? I didn't really dig much into it, but a lot of companies are developing like automated driving.
Like there's the Google car and there's all kinds of stuff going on.
NVIDIA's
right now,
working on systems. Intel's working on systems for automated driving. And Intel has basically, like I said, Intel's developed these cameras that basically allows for real-time depth of field, which allows for like better photography and 3D printing. And then it, of course, allows drones to more easily detect and map out their environment, and to the point where the drones can zip through a forest like the scene in Return of the Jedi at 12 miles an hour and not bump into anything. You just basically tell it to go from point A to point B, and boom, there it goes.
To be fair, swoop bikes in Return of the Jedi were going like 40, 50, 60 miles an hour.
Oh, I know. We're not quite there yet, but we are. Intel is getting to the point where like they're watching movies. Yet again, they're watching movies and trying to bring that to the real life. And they actually explained that in the keynote that the CEO had. He was talking about how 2015 is going to be a big new consumer wave, like it was back in '95 when they first came out with like mainstream consumer computers. So, yep. So,
well, are they actually basing that a prediction, or are they trying to cultivate that buying environment this year by saying that's what's going to happen?
Well, they're anticipating it. It's also the 50th anniversary of what was called Moore's Law, or what is called Moore's Law, which is basically,
I love Moore's Law.
Yeah, which is basically a prediction made back in 1965 that basically the
anything
number
that can go wrong will.
No, that's Murphy's Law.
No. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk.
I don't even know what law that is, but
that's
I imagine...
an NBA. It's an NBA commercial. It's a foot thing from it's an old commercial.
But basically what it says is that the number of transistors on a processing unit will get exponentially larger and larger over the next years. And then they actually had a graph about like the way that technologies progress to the point where if cars progress the same way over the same amount of time, they would cost 4 cents and get 300,000 miles to the gallon. But boy, that sure didn't work.
Well, I mean, capitalism kind of messed with that as far as I'm aware.
Capitalism messes with everything. Like, that's the big thing holding technology back is capitalism.
Truth.
Well, I mean, it's weird because you have to have it in order to keep driving, innovation. But it also really hampers it unless you get really, really severely lucky with what you're doing. Like, capitalism is what keeps Apple alive. And for all the hate people slinging against Apple, it does make some really interesting, innovative stuff. But it also relies upon the capitalist system to survive. And I don't even know why I'm going into that, because I don't have a dog in the my pet economic theory is better than yours argument, which is really popular right now.
Yeah, that's always popular, though, especially with the advent of the internet. Like, everybody thinks they know everything, and they don't.
Yeah, it's like I'll see, like, Tumblr is a bad example because Tumblr is so full of pet ideologies anyway. But the people that, like, will look at, horrible tragedies and say this would never happen under communism or anarchism or whatever. It's like, first of all, that's a really crappy platform.
Look at what has happened under communism.
That's a crappy way to phrase that, because you have no way to predict that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We also do have pretty good models of what communism does to countries. So, like, it's not a very good example anyway.
Yeah, so CES was fun. There's a lot of cool stuff.
I'm sorry.
No, it's that's what we're here for. We're meant to bounce ideas and stuff off of each other.
I want someone to, like, keep track of all the digressions we have in episodes and, like, who causes the most, because it's probably me that causes the most.
I'm going to start keeping tally marks, because, quite frankly, I think you are the one who contributes to the most rabbit trails in this podcast.
I have unmedicated ADD. I can't help it. I do come by this honestly.
Writing down another tally mark?
No, that's an explanation for why that's not fair. That's why the tangents happen. I'm explaining.
One last thing I will say, and again, it's kind of a standout thing that I saw from Intel and HP. You know how in Iron Man he basically, like, builds a 3D holographic version of his suit before he sends it off to get made?
Please tell me I'm getting holograms soon.
I don't remember this.
You are. They're working on it. It's a prototype that they're working on it, and basically they just holographically project we've had laser projected keyboards and stuff, but they're taking it to the next level, and basically they're coming out with what they call blended reality. And it's basically the way they showed it was they have a new unit called Sprout, and it basically is a projector scanner all in one. So basically what you're doing is you're messing with stuff on a 2D plane, and it's like an instant real-time transmission to the digital plane, so you can easily manipulate and print it right from the unit. It's ridiculous what they're working on.
Well, is that like a legitimate advance in the next couple of years, or is that one of those like online you see the article about the top 5 technologies that
it's
are
a
always
product that'll
2
be
years
released.
away.
It's a product that'll be released sometime this year. Like it's like
well, that's more exciting then, because all the prototype stuff that never gets expanded upon is a little sad.
Right, and that's another thing too, Hannah, that I told Nathan that I think he would get find pretty cool. Last year Intel introduced a micro wearable processor that they called Edison, which, unfortunate
right, I remember
name.
That.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this year they have gotten that same technology down to the size of a soup button, and they picked a much better name for it this year.
What is it?
Curie, as in as in Marie. So, so again, they're working on prototyping that stuff out, but it's there's a lot of really cool stuff at CES. And it's something I'm going to try and go to next year and maybe plan out a little bit better, because good God, the traffic, like Vegas traffic is terrible on the Strip in general.
That does sound really fun, actually. Like,
I want to go.
Well, if you get the registration done in time, it's free. You don't pay anything to go to CES. You just have to pay for the travel and lodging.
And I've been meaning to visit Vegas again. So
yeah.
We should make this a thing.
Do a ShallowCast live at CES 2016.
I would kill to do a ShallowCast live, by the way. ShallowCast live would be fucking incredible.
We might even, I don't know how we would go about this, but if we get enough clout, we might even be able to go there as press and go to like special screenings and press conferences and stuff.
I have no idea how we would pull that off.
I don't either.
There was a time, though, like back when, not when the internet was new, but when podcasting was starting to get big, where you could get away with saying, like, oh, I'm a member of the press just because of the podcast you ran or the web show you did. Like, there was a brief period of a couple years where we could have pulled that off.
Yeah, and
that
now we just have to,
gone.
we gotta really drop the hammer on that. So well, this was a good intro. So I think we're gonna move on to the quiz that I have for you guys, which is a star-studded television quiz. So let's transition.
Welcome back to ShallowCast.
We are back.
Gonna have a quiz apparently. Xander's come up with something for us.
Me too.
Yes, I have. So if you guys are ready,
we're quiz buddies. We should be on a team.
We should be on a team. Wait, we're competing against each other.
You don't want to be on a team for this one. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You're pitting us against each other?
I am pitting you against each other.
But why?
Okay. So I mentioned off mic that this is a star-studded television episode quiz.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the title of a TV episode, and you have to tell me if it's from Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, or Battlestar Galactica.
As soon as you involve Stargate, she's going to get every question right. You know that, Xander.
I've also never watched a single episode of Battlestar Galactica, so this will be interesting.
I've never.
Have you watched every single episode of every Stargate franchise?
She has, except for Stargate Universe. We don't talk about Stargate Universe. Other than that, she's watched every single one.
Well, okay, so this is how
this is a really
anticipated this.
This is a terrible way to design this quiz.
So this is what happens. I have the original air dates of these episodes, but they are not going to be part of the original clue because I felt they might be too easy in some instances. Okay. So, if you are stumped and you are the first one to buzz in, just basically yell at the microphone, you can basically wager your points. So if you get it right, you get 2 points. If you get it wrong, you lose 1.
This is getting more and more convoluted by the second.
It wouldn't be a Xander quiz that after 5 months if it wasn't. So
I'm gonna make the next quiz.
Yeah,
I am okay with that.
Nathan makes the next quiz. I agree.
Okay. So here we go. Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, or Battlestar Galactica. So clue number 1: the episode is called "The Naked Time."
Are you sure that's not a fanfic?
Nope, that is a real episode. And actually, when you find out what franchise it's from, it's actually a very notorious episode.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's a real episode of a thing.
Yes, it is very real.
But, okay.
So, you never actually explained whether we're supposed to guess which franchise it comes from.
Oh, you don't have to guess the I said you have to guess if it's Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, or Battlestar, but you don't have to guess the incarnation. You can just say Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, etc.
This is a real episode, and I believe it's a Battlestar Galactica episode.
Wrong.
Wait, it's not Battlestar Galactica?
It is not Battlestar Galactica.
I thought it was because I thought
then it's going to be Star Trek.
Hannah is correct.
Yeah.
This is actually...
Well, yeah, it was a 50... Like, this is my thing with the Stargate. Yeah. It's 50-50 for literally every one of these.
There's 4 episodes.
Because if she knows it's not a Stargate episode, then
I
she
know
knows
every
it's going to be one
single
of the other
episode
franchises.
of Stargate, and I've been a Star Wars nerd since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, so this
Yeah.
might be a little unfair.
We'll see.
This
So
is
yes,
kind of,
the
yeah.
naked, yep, the naked
We
time.
will see, and
the
we'll
naked
see that
time
I'm
is
right.
from the original Star Trek. It's the episode where.
Wait, it's from the original?
Star Trek. It's where Sulu goes shirtless and fencing.
That's horrifying.
So okay, so and remember, you can of course wager points, and that's the thing I didn't mention is that
my no points.
Well, yes,
I can wager
of course.
on.
That's the thing I didn't mention. If you buzz in and you get it wrong, then the other contestant is beholden to the same rules. Meaning, if they get it wrong, they lose their point. So Hannah has 1 point.
So I have.
Nope. No, because you didn't
1 point
wager.
right now.
So you don't have any points, and you can't go below 0. There's no negatives. So Hannah has 1 point, Nathan has 0. So clue number 2 is all good things.
Oh,
yeah.
Crap. Hang on.
Would you like to wager?
I feel like it's a Star Trek episode. Yes.
Is that a hang on? I'm getting my phone and Googling, or is that
no? That's a hang on. I'm making my thinking face. I'm going to wager my point, and I'm going to say that's Star Trek.
That is Star Trek, and it gets 2 points.
Oh my God, I was correct.
That's actually the
crap.
series finale of Next Generation.
I actually have only watched ever 2 episodes of Next Generation, so that was complete and utter luck. I'm sorry, Nathan.
I've only ever seen the 3 episodes of Stargate Voyager you and I have watched. Is the only televised Stargate I've ever seen, except for the episode of something where Neelix and Tuvok become the same guy, and the one Star Trek reboot movie I snuck into with my girlfriend at the time. Those are the only Star Trek movies I've ever seen.
Clue number 3, A Matter of Time.
Well, that I know that one.
That could be from any of those shows.
No, actually, it's
that's a Stargate?
Okay, so
yeah, it is. I'm
it's
trying to
the original
which one
series. Yep. So you guys both get a point because you both.
No, that wasn't me guessing. That was me agreeing with Hannah after she already buzzed in and guessed. That doesn't count.
Hannah
for me.
has 4 points.
Yeah, no, I could actually tell you the plot synopsis. Of
Jesus Christ! Okay.
Well, of course you can.
Okay.
How can you be surprised by this? This is like if you did an episode of Lost quizzes for me. This is like this,
or an episode of Godzilla quizzes. Like that's how I have watched every single episode of Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis at least twice each. Some of them into the dozens.
Well, it's a learning experience.
Okay,
for
so,
you.
Clue 4, Legacy of Terror.
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
So, hang on. Remind me of something again. You said that the options you had to choose from were Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, and Battlestar Galactica, right? But
correct.
With Star Wars, are we talking about like the novels and stuff?
No.
The comic books?
The television series, the various television series they've had over the years.
And there is no Star Wars television series.
There is close to half a dozen.
What are you talking about? What Star Wars television series was there?
Like the animated.
Okay, are we... Okay.
Which I also haven't cared about, which is weird considering my love of Star Wars.
So, what's the guess?
Remind me of the title again?
Legacy of Terror.
Okay, that's either Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica. It doesn't matter because I have 0 points, so it's whatever at this point. I'm gonna guess Battlestar Galactica again.
No, you are wrong again, unfortunately.
Is it another Star Trek? Is this the whole thing? Is this me getting Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica wrong?
We gotta wait.
That's okay. I'm gonna get them all wrong too.
For Hannah's guess, so she'll either get 2 points or she'll lose 1.
I'm gonna Battlestar Galactica.
But I guessed that.
You guessed them both.
No, I guessed Battlestar Galactica. You only got one guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
You just guessed the same thing as me. So was she right?
Yes, her guess of her Battlestar Galactica guess was right. No, because she guessed the wrong. No, she guessed it and she's wrong.
Oh,
it is.
I'm sorry. I'm bad at quizzes.
Of the recently wrapped up Star Wars Clone Wars series.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the reason you've never watched that is because the protagonist is Anakin Skywalker.
Okay, so all right, so clue number 5. Is this clue number 5? Yes, it is. The episode is. I just realized you wagered your point, and I didn't tell you the date. So that's my whole thing. When you wager, you get to hear the air date of the episode.
Oh, which actually would make a difference.
It would, yeah.
In that scenario,
Sorry.
It does actually. Shame on you. I feel like you should give Nathan a point for that.
I will take this. I will take this pity point. I have nothing to do with it because I'll immediately lose it again. But that's fine.
I'll give Nathan the point, but Hannah, because you guessed the same damn thing, you don't get that point back. So,
I'm
okay,
okay
so
with this.
clue number 5, human error.
That's a Star Trek episode.
That is a Star Trek episode. It is Star
It's going to
Trek
be one of those
Voyager.
episodes. Yeah, it's going to be one of those where Data's trying to become a person
It
or whatever
is a
the
Star
hell.
Trek Voyager
Yeah.
episode.
That's
Wow,
an-
how did I miss
that's an
that?
easy
That
one.
is the
All
only
right,
show
so
I
now
watched
there's a 1
obsessively
point
out of Star
spread.
Trek.
Okay, so
So I have 2 points now?
yeah, you have 2 points and Hannah has 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, clue number 6. 6 degrees of separation.
I think I might know this one.
I think you do.
Do you want to wager and hear the air date?
I don't want to really wager anything because that I don't think the air date would help too much in this one because I know what it's not.
Okay, go ahead and guess, Hannah.
It was human
6
error,
degrees
correct?
of separation. Human error was
No,
the Voyager.
Oh, 6 degrees.
Yeah.
Human error was the last
Yeah.
one. 6 degrees of separation. I'm going to say that is going to be Battlestar Galactica.
Hannah is correct. That is from the relaunch of Battlestar Galactica.
I should have just been guessing Battlestar Galactica for all of these.
Basically.
No, you would not break even. So, number 7. Fire in space.
Is that the first episode
Well,
of
that
Firefly?
as a concept
Because,
is just bad anyway.
No. It is not Firefly.
No, that was yeah.
Would you like an
Pass.
air date?
I'm not going to wager my 2 points on this. I want to.
You
end
only
this with
lose 1
something.
point. You only lose
Yeah,
one.
but I'll go down to having only 1
Okay.
point.
So,
I'm
Nathan
not
passes for an
I
inexplicable
pass.
reason.
No, it's very explicable.
Fire in space.
Fire in space.
I feel like I should refuse to answer just on the principle
Did
of
Michael Bay
that
write
being
this
a
episode?
concept for a sci-fi show. Can I just refuse to answer that because fire isn't a thing in space?
Can we call Michael Bay because he would know all about this?
I
Yes,
don't know
please. Can we call Michael Bay?
Phone a friend.
Because both of you, I mean, that's the thing, is that when you leave a question blank on a quiz, you don't get points for it.
Yeah, but we're
Right.
not going to get points anyway.
feel-
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
Okay,
Shot in the dark. I'm
fine.
going to say Star Wars.
Okay.
What-
Was that Nathan wanting to guess?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on. What'd you guess, Hannah?
I guess Star Wars.
Okay,
Hannah
Total
is
shot.
wrong.
I'm gonna guess Star Trek.
Nathan is wrong.
Okay.
Would you like to
That's
hear
fine.
the air date before I tell you what it is?
No, because
No.
it's Battlestar Galactica. Because
It is Battlestar
Stargate
Galactica.
would not be as so stupid as to name an episode that.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. So, clue number, what is this, 8? I don't know.
You know, I just realized the one instance where I would get a Stargate one right before Hannah would. It's if the episode was Heroes, I would immediately start crying. And then I would right.
Aw. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the next clue. The episode is called BEM.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. BEM. It's BEM, right?
B-E-M.
Shit. No, I know. Oh my god, I know this. God damn it.
Well, I'm glad you do because I don't have a clue.
Why do I know this? No, oh crap, I know this is a thing. I'm gonna
Just
get it
gonna-
wrong, and then I'm gonna remember right when you tell me the answer. Crap.
Do you want to wager your point and hear the air date?
I only have 2, so I'm not gonna break even if I wager.
Can you wager one of my points?
If you want to wager your point and guess
No,
and
no,
intentionally
I
get
don't
it
want to
wrong,
do that. I don't want to do
Okay.
that.
I will wager points and I will take a guess.
Okay,
Okay.
well the air date is September 14th, 1974.
Oh, well,
Oh, well, there you go.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Battlestar Galactica on that one because that was no
Hannah
wait, that
loses
wasn't
a
even
point.
in the 70s. Shit. No!
Yeah.
I told you I'm bad at Battlestar.
So that at least narrows it down to for me, so I know it was Star Trek.
It was Star Trek. It was from the animated
Yeah.
series.
Oh,
was
that's why I know
animated?
it, because it was stupid.
Yep. Nathan takes the lead.
Wait, really?
That's right. Why did I know that?
All right, this one's gonna get you
I have
both
no
mad at me.
idea.
Right.
So,
Okay.
the next clue is whose did it?
Whose did it?
Whose did it?
How is who's
Like-
spelled?
WHO''S.
That. Whose
What?
did it? Okay. So it's like a play on who done it.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that this is Battlestar Galactica.
Nathan is wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess Star Wars.
Hannah is correct. It's from the
Wait,
There you
what?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, there you
from
go.
the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series.
Oh,
Oh,
of
okay.
course it is.
And we have a tie game. So
I didn't even know the Tartakovsky episodes had titles.
yeah, you just gotta dig for them. So
yeah,
we are
'cause
down
they're
to our
never
last
given.
3 clues, which means in the
How
game
many questions is this?
10.
Okay.
So
I thought we were on to 8 already.
no, my count must have been wrong, but yeah, we are down
okay.
to our last
Okay.
3 clues. We have a tie game.
Okay.
So let's see how we go. Next clue is strange bedfellows. Blech, can't talk. Bedfellows. Strange bedfellows.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know this one.
Yeah, you do.
Do you want to go first or shall I?
I feel like the Stargate ones I should just give to you automatically. I feel like just on principle, you've earned those points more than I have. So I kind of.
Well, Hannah, if you think you know it, would you like to hear the air date and wager your points and try and take a bigger lead if you supposedly
He's
know
really
it?
trying to push this point wager.
I am. I'm trying to make it interesting.
Okay, fine. I'll wager some points.
Okay, so the original air date is April 21st, 1999.
Yeah.
April 21st, 1999. I'm going to go with Stargate on that one.
When only one of these shows was actually airing, yeah.
Hannah, I'm afraid you lose a point.
What?
Yep. Nathan, would you like to take a
there is an
guess?
episode that is...
There might be, but this isn't that instance.
I hate you.
That's...
Nathan, do you want to try and pull ahead even farther?
Well, at this point, the Battlestar remake hadn't been greenlit. There was no currently airing Star Trek series that I am aware of, so the only other option was one of the Star Wars series of the time.
You lose a point as well. That's from Deep Space Nine.
What the fuck is Deep Space Nine?
Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Oh, okay.
And we still have a tie game. You two just lost a point. That's okay.
Okay.
So,
I
We're
hate Star
bad
Trek
at
Deep
this.
Space Nine now. What just happened?
my master
Okay.
plan worked incredibly well and better than I expected.
Wow.
So we're down to
It's
our
like we
last 2 clues.
This is like if we charged each other trying to hit each other and both punch each other at the same time and fell over.
There's actually
wow.
an episode of a web series based around that.
There's a lot of
Okay,
times
so
where
second to
that's
last
happened.
clue. Here we go. The Lost Boys.
Oh, I know what that one is.
Okay.
That
Go for
is Stargate Atlantis, specifically.
Yes, Hannah, that is Stargate Atlantis.
Oh yeah, because that's when what's his name? Rainbow Sun Franks and his pals that he
Yeah.
recruited. Yeah, that's
Ford.
right. Ford, thank you. Yeah,
You're
no,
welcome.
that's Ford goes off with his little posse of friends and okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why it sounded familiar.
I told you, do not question my Stargate knowledge.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, well, it's obviously gonna as soon as Stargate is involved, you're gonna win.
Yes, Xander, we're ready for you.
Okay,
Are
so the
you-
final
yeah.
clue. Nathan has 3 points, Hannah has 4. So this could go either way, really.
No, it couldn't.
Yes, it could. If you wager and you get it right, then you win. Because it takes you to 5 points over Hannah's 4.
Okay.
Okay, so, final clue. The Frozen Citadel.
What?
The Frozen Citadel. Okay. I think that this is I think this is a Star Trek episode.
Nathan is wrong, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine.
What the hell? I'll wager. Why not? Why not?
Original air date, November 30th, 1985.
Oh, so it is okay. There's only one of those.
Star
Only one of those
Galactica,
was
right?
airing at
Yep.
the. No,
No,
I guess.
know.
I guess Star Trek. Don't do that again. No,
I'm
no.
bad at
only one of
Battlestar.
those.
We've established
but
this.
Only one of these shows was airing at this time, though. If it wasn't Star Trek, because Stargate didn't exist yet, there was no
Right.
Star Wars currently airing television series.
Yeah,
So-
so Battlestar.
Yeah.
It's from the Star Wars Droid series. Hannah loses a point. We have a
Wait,
tie.
what?
Xander,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Wait, the cartoon. Okay, was this? I thought this was all live action series.
No, I just
That's
said
why didn't
TV
know.
series. I did not say live action. I said
He's got a
TV.
point.
Yeah. Okay.
And we already established that the Clone Wars and the animated series were part of the Star Wars thing.
Apparently so. Yeah. Okay. All
I'm
right.
actually, Xander, considering how sneaky you were about that, I'm very, very disappointed in you that you did not pick up anything about the Stargate animated web series that they did.
I might have looked at it, but I did not find. I was trying to find very interesting.
Because I would have totally lost it on that because I've not seen a single one.
Yeah, I was trying to find
Yeah.
very interesting titles. So
And those are the type. Okay.
I'm trying. So I didn't actually account for a tiebreaker. So I'm trying to I'm trying to
You're just going to come up with something really
I'm
fast?
trying to come up with something very fast. So, let me see what I have here.
Pick something from, like, fashion culture. Neither of us will get it.
What's that?
I said pick something from, like, pop music culture or something like that. Well,
or like
no,
another TV show entirely.
Yeah, another TV show entirely.
Pick
something from, like...
That's what I'm trying to do. So, let me see.
It's going to be an episode of Friends because he's been watching that all day.
I'll be there for you.
I've never seen Friends.
Friends just got on Netflix and everybody shat themselves over it, and I still don't care.
It is awesome. Okay.
Who cares?
So, so this is not from any of the series that we listed. It's not from any of the 4 series. It is an animated. It's an animated series from the mid '80s. First one to get it wins. The episode is called Triple Takeover.
This is an animated series in the '80s, right?
From the mid '80s, correct.
Okay, so it's one of those that was really pushing toy lines and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, because the 3 that I'm thinking of, it's... Alright, I'm sorry, I'm metagaming here for a second, because Xander's first impulse is going to go for Transformers over all other things.
Nafan wins.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy.
I was in the middle of explaining why I would not guess Transformers, but I will take this point and win this quiz.
Woo! Woo! I did it.
Xander, you kind of jumped the gun there, but alright, thanks for my point.
Yeah,
He just was really excited about Transformers.
I was.
I literally was about to say, so I would not guess Transformers.
Because
and go on to explain why it was either He-Man or G.I. Joe. But, alright, thank you for my point.
But yeah, so this was great, and...
For you...
It went way better than I expected.
Nathan gets the next quiz.
Yeah, I'm taking the next quiz.
Yeah, I'm all about you taking the next quiz.
It'll be like it'll be something simple. It'll be like, is this a real Wikipedia article? Because like list of famous trees and stuff I'd have to make you guys guess between those things.
You got me too hooked on citation needed for me to guess.
Oh, did you actually listen to it?
Of course I listened to it. I still mourn their loss, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, which they gave. Well, I think the reason they stopped doing it was because both those writers are working on riff tracks now.
Oh wow, really? They both got jobs at riff tracks? That's crazy.
Well,
that's glorious.
Connor Listoka for sure is, but I don't know what the other guy's doing.
We've seen a bunch of podcasts rise and fall. So Nathan wins. Congratulations.
Empires.
I'm surprised and confused. Thank you for my winning the thing.
I think we're all surprised and confused.
By me succeeding? I would be.
I think what kept the quiz
surprised and confused in general.
Yeah, I think what kept the quiz interesting was that there was only 2 Battlestar clues and only 2 Stargate clues.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned Stargate, I was like, well, that's way too... But that still helps her narrow it down. If she knows what it's not, there's a 1 in 3 chance of knowing what it is.
Right, but she's
still... Out of all of that, I've seen intermittent, very spotty episodes of various Star Wars TV
That's what I was counting on.
I have seen all of the Stargate, and I have seen all of, specifically, Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah, and I've seen 2 episodes of Voyager, 1 episode of whichever it was where Neelix and Tuvok get fused by the transporter thing. I remember that Battlestar Galactica existed, and I've never watched any Star Wars television ever, except for, 3 episodes of the Genndy Tartakovsky animated Clone Wars thing.
Which was actually pretty excellent.
It was pretty phenomenal.
That was one of my favorite Star Wars scenes of all time. When Asajj Ventress attacks all the clone troopers in the forest, and there's one that just goes cartwheeling through the air behind the heads of a couple of other ones that are looking for her.
It's pretty
awesome. Genndy is he's a really big fan of that visual cue. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Yeah, he loves that for especially Dexter's Lab. He used that a lot in Dexter's Lab.
He used it a lot in Dexter's Lab. He used it a lot in Samurai Jack.
I think he even uses it in Hotel Transylvania, which don't ask me why I watched it because I don't know. But he did direct that.
That one's really polarizing for a lot of people because a lot of people like it and a lot of people hate it for various reasons.
It's cute and some of it's funny, but there's a very lengthy fart joke right at the beginning, so I stopped watching it and I refused to continue. And then a week later, I went past that scene and kept watching, and it's kind of cutesy, but it's, I'm glad that Genndy Tartakovsky is getting work, if nothing else, because I really like his work.
Now, let's just see that Samurai Jack movie.
We're about 10 years too late for a Samurai Jack movie, my friend.
I don't think so. Took them 10 years to make another Star Wars. Yeah, they made Ant-Man.
Oh God, should we start talking about Ant-Man now?
Yeah, I think
we probably should.
We're going to switch over to Marvel. So
that was a good segue. Hannah's disdain for Ant-Man was a good segue into talking about Ant-Man and I guess Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter.
Yep, Agent Carter.
Lots of things that start with A.
Carter, I want to.
It's
Rodalis is watching it now and she really likes it.
Ooh.
Yes.
But I've never seen it, and I don't care about Captain America or his universe, so I'm not really going to watch it, because it's whatever.
Well, the way things are working
split
is...
segments?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to transition to Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go on to talk about Marvel things.
Yay, Marvel. Okay.
Marvelous.
Yay. Boo. Don't do that again. God damn it.
And welcome back to our most marvelous next segment of ShallowCast.
Woo! Aw, Nathan hates the puns.
I hate puns.
I live
hate
for the
them so
puns.
much.
Aww.
It's a marvelous day for a marvelous ShallowCast.
So there's a lot of Marvel stuff going on right now. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on their mid-season break till March, which, considering what they ended on, was pretty huge. It's a lot to...
I binge-watched all season and a half in like 3 days, and I'm really desperate for more.
Mm-hmm. So for those that don't know, basically, back when Marvel announced their whole Phase 3 thing, they announced they're making an Inhumans movie, which is kind of a fuck you to Fox, because Inhumans are basically, at their core kind of level, they're basically just another mutant faction, another allegory for racism and things like that. But basically, one of the fan theories was that that's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was setting up for, was the introduction of the Inhumans, and they haven't flat out said it in the show yet. But yeah, that's what's going on.
But it is heavily implied.
Yeah, and at the end of the mid-season finale, they did basically show the Inhuman transformation process, which involves crystals and mists and transformations, and it was a whole very subtly done cool thing.
It was very well done.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yes.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hannah was watching it. I think we watched a bunch of episodes Christmas Day.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Rather, I watched them and you were playing World of Warcraft and just kind of paid attention by accident.
I was listening occasionally. Like, some of it was kind of interesting, but it's a Joss Whedon show, and you guys know how I feel about Joss Whedon, so
We
wasn't...
do, and
That's true.
that's okay.
And that's
It's
very valid.
I do have very valid opinions about Joss Whedon.
You do.
So, but yeah, it sounds like it's been a really good show so far. Marvel, like, here's my thing with Marvel. As you guys both know, I am not a big fan of the Marvel movies for the most part, because I don't like the tone they take.
Right.
The reason I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, and the reason I think it's the best Marvel film, period.
And you're right.
Is because it has the irreverent and silly and fun tone that I look for in Marvel comics. The whole point of Marvel, back when I was into, like, the animated series, was that the series TV shows were so much more lighthearted and so much more fun than the DC stuff.
That's one thing too that kind of bums me out about the live action series, with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and now with Agent Carter, is that there's no, and even some of the animated stuff like Ultimate Spider-Man, like there's no real intro on some of these anymore. Now, like the Avengers stuff always does, but like this live action stuff and Ultimate Spider-Man, it's a title screen and a little orchestral score, and that was it. I mean, heck. In the 90s, you had the X-Men animated intro. You had the Spider-Man animated intro. Like,
those
Marvel
are great intros.
Yeah, everybody has title cards
synth
now,
guitar.
Yeah. That's more of a recent thing. And between that and the fact that we're in the age of gritty
Flash
reboots.
does it too, yeah.
Well, I think that Lost kind of brought back the floating title card, as far as I can recall, because that was the first show I'd seen in a long time. Like, shows that aired around that time, like Grey's Anatomy and Desperate Housewives, they didn't have the title cards until, like, the first season of Lost wrapped, and that became the way you introduce your show again. As far as I can recall.
Well, Desperate Housewives, Grey's Anatomy really is just a title card. Desperate Housewives was always the theme song.
And the intro from, what's her name?
Yeah. Whatever her name is, yeah.
Mary Alice.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that?
Yeah. I don't know why you remember that. That's pretty cool, though.
Well, to bear in mind, I mean, the title card transition also came around the time where the writer's strike became a thing. So I'm sure that was a factor
true.
as well.
You know what? I think you're right. That makes sense. Well, all of this is kind of getting away from the point of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, neither of which I've seen, really, but they're both about agents, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to watch Agent Carter, but I haven't yet, but I need to look it up.
It's cool they have a female character with so much agency.
Ha! There we go. So you hate the pun.
That was a payback for my Marvelous comment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Every time I make a pun, I'm being a massive hypocrite, and I'll freely admit that, but it's mainly to get revenge on you.
And
okay,
so I understand, Agent Carter is just supposed to be like a 6 or so episode miniseries.
Yeah, it's a really short miniseries thing. Speaking of miniseries, oh my god, sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna
Do we need to make another segment?
It deserves its own episode, to be perfectly frank.
A miniseries that deserves its own episode.
Dude, Over the Garden Wall would be an amazing thing to talk about in this podcast.
Yes!
I'm not gonna, like, Hannah and me have watched it 3 times now?
3.
Well, I'm going to have to watch it then. And then we'll have a whole episode about Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah,
yes!
I've seen it 4 times. Hannah's seen it 3 times, but we'll do a whole episode because I fucking adore that show. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, Marvel.
So, yeah.
Agent Carter
miniseries.
Sorry.
Basically, it's like, oh, hey, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on break, but here's Agent Carter. We've got a really, really cool female character that everybody loves, and we're going to do a miniseries about her. And basically, Peggy Carter is, of course, an agent with the, I can't remember what it's called. It's the SSR. We're back on acronyms again. But basically, she's like a British spy, and she was Captain America's liaison and all that stuff.
Strategic Scientific Reserve.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Hannah.
You're welcome.
And basically, what has happened is after the war, someone has stolen a bunch of Stark technology because, of course, and
Stark
of
can't
course,
keep
the
track of
government.
his shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically, the government, of course, thinks Howard Stark has sold his technology to the enemy because this is the 1940s. We just got done blowing up a bunch of people, and now we're afraid they're going to do it back to us, which is completely justified, quite honestly. And then basically what happens is because Howard knows Peggy and knows her agency is investigating him, he basically recruits her to clear his name while he goes off the grid. And he entrusts her with Jarvis, who the movie fans know as, of course, Tony's AI. But in the comics and, of course, in the actual cinematic universe, he was an actual butler, helper, handyman kind of guy.
Yeah, he's your real dude.
Yeah, he is. And I don't think he's played by the same guy that voices him, but I could be wrong there.
That would actually be really clever.
Yeah, and it's he's a really cool character. There's not quite as much stunt heavy action, because it's the mid 40s. It's a little bit more grounded than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is, but of course it's still got kind of special gadgets and sleepy time lipstick and all kinds of stuff. But Haley Atwell is, she's really, really cool, and she's a really good character, and she does not take shit from nobody. I
am a sucker for that character.
I was going to ask, is this one of those where there's like 10 minutes in every episode of her just like shutting down some guy who's super sexist, and it's a whole thing is like, rah, rah.
It's not 10 minutes, but there's
Because,
one part where her boss calls her in to help investigate some guys at this plant, and the head guy goes, "Oh, what's your name, darling?" She just stares him down and goes, "Agent." And it's just like, oh, yes, this is how that's going to be.
That makes me
I
really
like
happy.
That, but I don't like that when it comes to the expense of other like development, when that's all you get as far as this is how she deals with sexism. It's like, that's not enough for me. I like those scenes, but I don't like when that's all you get.
Right. Well, if it's anything like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., again, I haven't seen the Peggy Carter series, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a good portion of that, but it also has a lot of actual, legitimate, real awesome character development for its female characters, so I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, I like when there's like legitimate effort in there too, and not just the one token scene of like, you can't do this to me because I'm a girl, because like, no, you can't, but we need to move the characters beyond that too, because otherwise it's just pandering that never gets expanded upon.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other scenes. Like there's one scene where a waitress friend of hers is getting abused by Farva from Super Troopers, and Peggy just goes up. He's a big fat guy from a couple of different Broken Lizard movies, and she just basically goes up and like stabs him in the side, like puts a fork in his side and tells him to shape up and get out of there. And so there's a lot of the whole, because back in the,
to me every time I go out to eat.
Right,
I've noticed that.
I've gone through a lot of forks.
This is why I don't go to IHOP with you anymore.
Well,
yeah, back in the 40s, this was a real thing. All the people, all the guys that were drafted were being discharged and sent back, and
stabbing
kicking
people with
women out of
forks
their
was a thing?
jobs. No, but
well, depending on the war you were in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, there's a lot of GIs coming home from the war and being discharged, and women getting forced back out of the workplace, and the whole an attempt to return to normalcy as far as normalcy goes back in the 40s. And so it kind of addresses that and deals with that and all that whole thing. So it's a really good show so far. I'm kind of sad it's just a mini-series, but I can kind of understand considering all the different budgetary things they have to worry about.
And
with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming back, you have Ultron, Age of Ultron and Ant-Man coming out this year.
So
and of course all the stuff they have in production.
Ant-Man, oh my
Ant-Man,
god.
yeah. So
are Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, are they spin-offs of Agent Cody Banks, that Frankie Muniz movie from 2003?
no,
Yes.
they are not. No.
Okay,
they are
see,
not
that's what
spin-offs.
They are. They
won-
have all the same gadgets. They've got almost exactly the same cast.
Okay, I wondered why Frankie Muniz was Captain America all of a sudden, because like he's a little scrawnier than I would have expected. I love when I do this to her.
God damn it, Nathan.
Frankie Muniz, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he hasn't done anything in a while. We gotta give that shout out
He
to Frankie
retired from
Muniz.
acting is why.
Oh, that's why. I forgot.
Yeah. Just like the kid that plays Joffrey.
I don't know what that is.
The douchey blonde kid from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I was thinking Jeffrey, the Toys R Us giraffe.
Well, him too, probably.
Not so much a douchey blonde, just a blonde in that case.
That's true.
He
I think
seems
he's
pretty
more of a
genial.
brunette.
Wait, what?
He said he seems pretty genial.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you said. I wasn't sure. So, I'm sorry. I totally lost my train of thought.
Okay, so
I was
Agent
gonna
Carter.
I was going to go
is
on the
a-
Cody
yeah,
Banks thing for
it's-
longer. That's all it was.
It's a spin-off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's also a prequel. But it's all connected to the cinematic universe. Supposedly, there's going to be some more tie-ins to...
That's what I was going to ask you. Are there, like, superpowered people in it and stuff? Or is it just,
Not
like,
yet.
spy
The
thriller?
first two episodes are dealing with this special explosive compound that Howard Stark had developed, and it was stolen and weaponized. So that's what that's
Okay.
dealing with.
Okay.
So yeah, there's no real superpowered people yet. I don't know if they're going to go that route or not.
Because Agents
there
of
is-
S.H.I.E.L.D. references Peggy Carter in a couple of episodes, along with the
Yeah, and there's even
SSR,
like a-
and there's like
There's
flashbacks.
like a flashback
and-
at the beginning
Yeah.
of season 2, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so supposedly there's going to be some connections to Ant-Man and Captain America. Because that's the thing, too. In Ant-Man, we're not dealing with Hank Pym as the central character, who was the original Ant-Man.
He's the
And
one who beat his wife, yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Thank God. Not for the
we're
beating
dealing
his
with
wife,
Scott
but for them not
Lang,
focusing on
who...
it.
Yeah, we're dealing with Scott Lang, who is the second incarnation of Ant-Man. He was basically he was a thief who stole a bunch of shit from Hank Pym, and Hank Pym was like, "I'm tired of the superhero shit. It's basically making me into a douchebag. Here, you fight my battles from now on." And he just went to go do. He basically does what Bruce Banner does, which is lock himself in a laboratory and just do science shit the whole time.
Okay.
Which is what turned into Ultron, but of course, cinematic universe is not going that route.
Well, and like Ant-Man as a character, what's the thing with? I know that he can change size, like he can go from microscopic to gigantic,
Correct.
and any scale in between, and he maintains strength of his normal size when he's shrunk. So like he has proportional ant strength and shit. But
Right.
he can also. Does the helmet let him?
It's
talk
the
to
helmet.
ants
The
or
helmet.
something?
Yes,
Okay.
the helmet.
Because he
is
can
what allows him-
communicate to ants. The trailer has him like riding a flying ant at one point, and it's
Right.
very silly looking.
That's,
Yeah, it is.
I
That
still
effect
haven't
is
seen the
pretty
trailer because I just can't bring myself to
It's
take anything called Ant-Man seriously.
They make a reference. They make a
They do.
reference
It's
that
like,
the
is it
last
too
line of the
late to
trailer
change
is.
the name?
That's the last line of the trailer is it too late to change the name?
Really?
But again, that's what happened with the.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have a hero that was born in the late '60s, early '70s, or whatever it was. I think it was late '60s.
They were just bad at
Um,
naming things then.
And that's what kind of bums. That's what bums out a lot of people out too. Is that it's taken so long for us to get an Ant-Man movie because he was a founding member of the Avengers, but also his wife, then girlfriend Janet Van Dyne,
She
was the
founded
one that
the event. She came up with the
she
name
helped-
of the Avengers.
Exactly,
Yeah,
she helped found it too, and she came up with the name.
and isn't going to be in the movie.
No, it's her daughter or something. I can't remember what the relation is.
Yeah, it's Evangeline Lilly plays Hope Van Dyne, who I guess might become Wasp at some point. Maybe we don't know.
I'm
Probably
actually
not.
okay with it being Evangeline Lilly because everything she does turns to gold. So
No, she's going to be great in it, and she's probably the only thing we'll care about in this film. The
Probably.
thing for me is I don't watch the Marvel movies. Because unless I care about the superhero in the original incarnation, I don't watch the movie.
And that's the thing too. Is
I'm
that,
still
going
to
to
make you watch Thor because I think you would absolutely adore Darcy.
Thor is fun. Thor isn't as dark. Thor is pretty fun. The Thor movies are pretty fun. Plus Natalie Portman's cute. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, because Ant-Man is supposedly supposed to be this big heist movie, and the Ocean's 11 movies, say what you will about the sequels, but they're still pretty fun heist movies in the entire job. Like
I've never seen one.
Ant-Man does not look like a fun heist movie.
I do like heist
they're not
movies.
They're not pushing that angle. I love Lady Killers is a really good heist movie, actually. It's one of my mother's favorite films is The Lady Killers.
Ooh.
That's the thing. Edgar Wright was the one originally directing Ant-Man.
Right, and he
they
left
kicked
over
him off
creative
the project.
differences.
Yeah. So it's like, it was going to be a comedic, like, spoof.
It's like,
and it was going to
did
be really
you not
funny.
see what he's done? Like, why, the character is called Ant-Man, that's the name of the movie. You don't kick off a guy like Edgar Wright. You don't kick a guy off something like that.
I have a feeling that they kicked him off because his incarnation of Ant-Man was not going to fit into the Avengers. It wasn't in the chronology of the Avengers. He was trying to make a comedic superhero film in the same way that he made Scott Pilgrim as like a comedic video games kind of film.
Right.
But
Shaun of the Dead
as a comedic zombie movie.
I'm waiting for this whole process with Marvel to be over, and then Marvel selling, like, for ridiculous amounts of money, 12-foot long posters of the Marvel Cinematic Timeline.
I
have a feeling that'll come.
Totally okay with.
I'd probably buy that poster.
I probably would too.
But see, that's why I think they kicked him off the project, is because Marvel wanted to make it, I think they wanted to tie it into the rest of the cinematic universe. And when Edgar Wright was like, well, that's not what I want to do, Marvel said, okay, we'll find someone else to make our movie.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, but like James Gunn talks about that too, is like, yeah, there's a loose tie-in.
That is true. James Gunn had the most freedom with Guardians to just not play in the Marvel sandbox as much as anybody else has had to.
And
right.
it makes sense as far as their business plan goes for the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe plan that they've got for like the next 50 bazillion years that they've got going on. Like, you have to be really cautious and careful and consistent with how you're structuring these stories and which things are happening at which times, and you have to have some. I mean, you have to give them, creative freedom for that, but at the same time, you have to tell them you have to hit these certain points at these certain stages, and if somebody's not going to go that route, then you're not going to be able to let them on your project.
Well, Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I'll bring up my thing here.
The worrisome thing for me is that's the same thing that happened with comic books, though. They start to collapse under the weight of their own canon. That's why, with House of M, you had Scarlet Witch actually rewrite reality so there were not as many mutants. People lost their powers so that Marvel had less characters they had to worry about writing. That's why Jubilee got ruined and became a vampire later. Mm-hmm. So, like, Marvel and DC, comic books in general, do this thing where they pile on the characters and pile on the plot events.
Flashpoint and New 52.
Yeah. That's why every few years they have to have a big canon rewriting event that changes everything so they don't have as many characters and plot points to worry about. And I think the cinematic universe is going to fall prey to that same problem.
Maybe they're actually planning on doing one of those cataclysmic events to rewrite everything at the very end of the process. That's what they're saying,
is at the end of Age of Ultron, it's going to affect the status quo of the cinematic universe. And this kind of gets back to what I was about to say.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of Avengers, we get that shot of Thanos, and like CinemaSense is, end of credits scene winds up being homework, because I sure as hell didn't know who the hell he was.
Neither did I.
Oh, I knew who Thanos was. Sadly, I knew who Thanos was. I was embarrassed that I was the only person in the theater who knew who that stupid character is.
And so I did some digging, and I found out about him, and I realized what they were trying to do, and I'm just like, how are they going to set this up in the next movie? Now, of course, we know they aren't. They're kind of setting it up through various movies, but at the same time, it comes back to another CinemaSins line that he's used a couple of times, which is movie shows characters are evenly matched, so now you know that one of them is going to be defeated by bullshit. And basically what it's leading up to is, of course, Thanos wielding the Infinity Gauntlet with this giant weapon of unimaginable power. We've now seen 3 of the Infinity Stones and what they can do on their own.
And we've seen a single stone erase a planet.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
somehow
okay,
these human mortals are going to stop Thanos with all 5 gems.
It's like, we have a bunch of idiots who have all they've done at this point is stop an alien invasion. Like, that's,
Yeah,
they have
by
not,
Loki, so big accomplishment.
They are not ready to fight on a cosmic scale.
They're not. But I think that they're trying to space that out by adding, like, they're going to do a Captain Marvel movie. And Captain Marvel her powers she gets them from an alien race. She's got really powerful energy abilities and shit, and she can fly.
Correct. She's caught in an explosion with a member of the Kree, and his DNA is infused into hers, and she gets superpowers.
Ooh,
can I also say, hey, can we say that I love the fact that we're getting a Captain Marvel Carol Danvers movie?
Are we actually getting Carol Danvers?
It's actually Carol Danvers. Like, that's our introduction to the character. She's already Captain Marvel. Like,
well, I like that.
Yeah.
If they can pull these off so they don't come off like pandering. Like, as soon as I saw, okay, this is my big beef with Marvel. As soon as they announced that they were doing a Captain Marvel movie and a Black Panther movie, the amount of back padding that they were doing and the amount of people online just sucking Marvel's dick over the inclusion and what they're doing with, women and black characters. It's like, they haven't proven that they can write these characters effectively or capably yet. As much as I love Gamora, she doesn't get a lot of development, she doesn't get a lot of lines, and there's Drax randomly calling her a whore in the middle of the film when the most literal-minded character ever has never seen her do anything sexual. So, like, Marvel's really shitty with the representation anyway. I'm not optimistic about these films if they can prove to me that they're going to write them capably. Because, like, if we start talking about Marvel and how they write transgender characters, I could be here for 1,000 years screeching at the top of my lungs about Tong. But I'm not gonna do that. My point is, I'm excited that they're trying to write these characters, but they haven't earned the accolade from me, and they haven't earned it from anyone that they're going to do these characters right. Captain Marvel.
That's why I'm really
Agent Carter.
hoping that I can't remember her name. Starbuck from the Battlestar Galactica reboot. Like
I don't know who that is.
I can't remember her name for the life of me.
Like the actress?
The actress, yeah, and I feel bad because she's awesome, but like she would not take bullshit. She'd be like, "No, this is not how this character was. I was fucking Starbuck. I smoked cigars and kicked dudes in the chest. I'm not playing this shit." Like, so she would either leave or force them to rewrite. So I'm hoping, like, she gets the part. She'd be perfect for it, but she also wouldn't take studio bullshit.
Yeah, good casting is going to be half of it. The other half is going to be good writing. And I'm I don't trust Marvel right now. I need to see the actual proof that this will happen because I've not seen, female characters in Marvel films or any black characters in Marvel films. And to be fair, I haven't seen the second Captain America because I don't care about Captain America, but I'm not seeing these characters. I'm not seeing
to also
the proof
be fair,
they can
you
write
haven't seen a lot of the Marvel movies yet as well.
Yeah,
I want to say, I've only watched Winter Soldier once, but I want to say that I don't really think it comes up now that I can think about it. Like, his race doesn't come up. He's just another guy. I could be wrong because I've only seen it once, but even, Cap never blinks. Like, no one ever blinks about it being a black guy. It's just, oh, there's another guy, and now he's fighting crime too. And
I mean, to a point, I like that. What bothers me is when white people say they never make an issue of his race, and all that means is I don't have to acknowledge that he's black.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference.
I don't know. Yeah, there is a difference. I don't know. My whole thing is, like I was saying at the beginning, I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel films.
Oh, you know what?
I don't care about the characters. Right. I don't watch them, so I haven't seen Thor or any Captain America. I saw...
I'm going to make you watch Thor.
I've seen all 3 Iron Mans because of Hannah. I've seen the 2 Hulk films, one of which was awful, one of which was totally unremarkable.
True.
And then I've
which
seen
one was awful and which one was unremarkable?
The Ang Lee Hulk movie was garbage.
Yes, I like Incredible Hulk.
It was being force-fed garbage while being punched in the throat. And I've seen Avengers and I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's it. I'm probably not going to watch Ant-Man unless somebody that I want to hang out with wants me to see it with them. I'm not going to be watching another Marvel movie until Age of Ultron comes out, and only then because maybe they'll get Scarlet Witch right and she'll be interesting.
I know, I think we've mentioned this before, but I think it's kind of weird, at least in the mainstream Marvel universe, not the Ultimates universe, that we have Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson now playing brother and sister after they play as husband and wife in Godzilla. Like, that's still kind of funny to me.
That is a little weird.
That is a little odd, actually.
I mean, it's, yeah, okay, there was an implied incestuous relationship in the Ultimates between those 2 characters, which is, yeah. See, here's the thing, though. Going back to the Ultimates universe, that's a good thing about Fox owning
the X-Men characters?
The X-Men characters, we don't have to worry about a Blob-Wasp situation like we had in the Ultimatum, which ends in the Blob eating the Wasp in the middle of a giant New York flood. So, yeah. Comics are weird.
I hate comic books.
Blob Wasp is the name of my new girl band.
I hate comic books. I love comic books, but I hate comic books.
So we're gonna take a tiny transition, but it is still kind of connected.
Is it tiny because of Ant-Man?
No, it's tiny because it's not technically Marvel, but
okay.
Scarlett Johansson has finally sealed in. It's finally been sealed in that she is going to be the lead in the Ghost in the Shell movie. Now, they haven't said she's playing the Major, who's, of course, a Japanese character from a Japanese medium, but that's the big assumption. And there's a lot of obvious problems with that. Someone said it best that, clearly, Scarlett Johansson is who you think of when you think of that character. Not, Riko Kinkuchi or anything. Who was the best part of 47 Ronin, by the way.
Which I've
not
really
seen that because it looked awful and it makes me
sad. It's really bad.
I love her.
If you can ignore Keanu Reeves,
which
it's
is
not bad.
Actually,
I love how your argument is, I love how your argument is always, if you can ignore 95% of the film, you're really going to enjoy it.
Well, yeah, and like I said, Nathan, that ending scene is one of the best scenes I've ever seen on film. It's just like gut punching, and I thought it was really, really, really nicely done. Movie.
I watched it, but I had no context for it, so
right.
I didn't really understand what was happening.
But yeah, 47 Ronin was not great, and of course, now that we have a white lead again in a Japanese
story, Japanese medium, yeah. It's like when they were going to make Akira and have Keanu Reeves play. Mm-hmm. It takes place in Japan after the apocalypse, so it's like there are no white people in this film.
Right.
Well,
I saw somebody that said
also, to be fair, make Exodus entirely out of white people. So
no, that's not true. They made sure that there were black people playing slaves.
Oh, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's appropriate, and not disgusting.
And Ben Kingsley was the pharaoh, and he's technically half Indian, but it's not, it's like Ben Kingsley playing the Mandarin. It only works.
He really likes doing that. Wasn't he Gandhi too?
Yeah, he was Gandhi.
Why does he do that? Does Ben Kingsley come to studios and look, I know that I look really, really white, but I have an idea for a character I want to play. What?
I think he just wanders onto sets and starts acting, and people just write him into the film. He's like Stanley Tucci.
Hey, that actually gets me to our next thing I wanted to talk about, which is the
finally,
core.
The Hunger Games. Oh,
yeah. Wait, what about Hunger Games?
Oh, he's in the Hunger Games.
Who is?
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, yeah, Stanley Tucci.
He's not Caesar Flickerman. He's the other guy.
No, he's Caesar.
He's Caesar.
I keep doing that. I'm sorry.
You keep doing it the other way around. You keep thinking Seneca Crane or Caesar Flickerman when you mean the other one.
Told you I had a chance to play that part, and it didn't work out. So, yeah, I don't know how you forgot.
Anyway, let's do the thing, and let's go talk about whatever it is we're talking about next. The core. I don't want to talk about the core.
I want to talk about the core.
Which means we do want to talk about the core.
You're talking about the core now.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Welcome back to ShallowCast. We're talking about some fucking bullshit.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I want to talk about the core.
But the core
I don't know
is
why you
one
guys
of the
like
only
this
movies I will ever legitimately hate watch.
I don't get why you guys... It's so bad.
It is so bad. That's why it's good.
No, that's a thing I say. You don't get to say that.
And I legitimately think it's good. I don't even think it's I mean, it's a disaster movie.
Well, then your opinion is wrong, but okay.
Oh, fine.
No, it's the I know you can only hear me, but I'm putting the word science in air quotes here.
Oh, I can hear it.
I can hear the air quotes, trust me.
Yeah, the science in that movie just makes me want to throw rocks at my TV, so.
What's your favorite bad science part in that movie?
Oh, I have to pick one?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Favorite bad science part. The core of the Earth stops rotating.
That's a pretty good part.
By the way, for anybody who hasn't seen the core, which first of all, don't. And second of all, that is the entire concept of the movie. The Earth's core stops rotating, and the Earth starts to...
made an earthquake machine, and it makes the core of the Earth stop moving.
They have to drill to the center of the Earth using a massive train-like vehicle that is using a drill made of sound waves.
It is made of sound waves, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. To travel to the center of the Earth and detonate a nuclear weapon, which will start the Earth's core rotating again. And somehow the Earth's core rotating doesn't immediately destroy the planet or kill everything.
Or
because they have
cessation of such rotation, also.
Yeah, because that would affect, people that are on the planet, which is most of us at this point.
Most of us.
I mean, that was a Pinky in the Brain plot, wasn't it? To get the Earth spinning so fast that when they stop it, everyone flies off.
It was, and there was also one where Brain actually developed a chemical that made inanimate objects come to life. And
Abraham Lincoln, right?
Well, what he did was he made the Earth come to life, so that he could ask the Earth if he could be in charge of it, and the Earth said no. And then
I missed that part.
That's a Pinky in the Brain episode, because it opens with
that one.
He tests it on an orange traffic cone. Because I remember the cone talking to Pinky saying, "Me orange cone, me guard road," and I remember that episode only because of that scene.
Wait, is the intelligence of the object proportional to its composition?
I don't think so. I think everything that he brought to life is kind of dumb.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
That does make sense.
A fault's in the formula, anyway.
Well, now that I've successfully diverted this discussion to Pinky in the Brain, what do you think the odds are we'd ever get that reboot?
Nope, we're talking about the core.
Spielberg. Yeah.
Damn it.
But
Damn
yeah,
it.
there's I mean, at least the acting is good, right? For the most
No.
part.
They used the word unobtainium, unironically.
They used the word unobtainium sincerely.
Yeah, but they used it before Avatar did. They used it before.
It was
They
still
beat
bad.
James Cameron to it.
Unobtainium as a concept is meant as like a writer's trope, not an actual thing you put in an actual movie.
It's like if you had a character who described their friends in something using TV tropes article titles. It's like, you don't do that.
You have done that. Red
No,
Oni, Blue Oni. Yeah,
No,
Red Oni,
Xander,
Blue Oni.
what I'm saying is you don't have characters refer to those concepts in dialogue. A fictional character should not demonstrate awareness of the medium unless that's their whole thing. You don't call attention to literary concept in your story. You don't use unobtainium. You don't say, wow, this is foreshadowing. If you're doing that for comedic purposes, I'm okay with it. But when you try to make it a serious scientific concept or something, it's really like, it's like the writer looks at you, the audience, and says, hey, that was pretty smart, wasn't it? It's like, I don't like that.
It's not cool unless it's Deadpool or She-Hulk.
I don't think Deadpool, basically, and I don't even think Deadpool's that funny because he's just an internet meme at this point. She-Hulk, however, I would like to see in a movie because she could still be aware of the fourth wall and it'd be funny.
Yeah.
I'm alright with that. But we're talking about the core. So.
Damn it! I like that I can recognize the...
I'd like to know from you. I'd like to know from you, what is your favorite bad science of this movie?
I would have to say the fact that the EM field only affects that small group of pacemaker patients. Like, if the core of the Earth stopped moving and was affecting the EM field in such a way, wouldn't that kill every single pacemaker person in the world?
Yes.
Well, because they're all on Earth, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it would. All of these things that were very specific to very, very particular sites on the planet should not have been that specific. They should have all been, guess what? The entire planet is in ruins within probably about 48 hours of this tragic event that can't actually even fucking happening.
Like, why is the space shuttle just off course? Why isn't all of its electronics fry? Why aren't all the satellites falling out of the sky?
The satellites falling out of the sky is because they're in stable orbit, and there's really not a lot you can do with that without actually interfering with thrusters.
But what if orbit stopped moving? Because this is the quality of film we're dealing with here, where the orbit of things could also stop.
You know what? To be fair, that is true. With the core, a satellite could just fucking fall out of the sky for no reason. So
I should tell Xander about my idea for the worst disaster movie ever.
Oh, yes. I'm okay
yeah,
with you derailing the core
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
this.
What's your idea?
All right, so this actually also happened on Christmas, I think.
Yes, it did.
Was it Christmas or Thanksgiving? Okay. I was trying to come up with the plot of the worst disaster film ever so that Hannah would get really mad at me.
Uh-huh.
And Hannah was telling me about how, and correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes galaxies will drift together. They will collide.
Yes.
That's a thing. Mm-hmm. So I came up with the idea, all right, so this is my disaster movie. Scientists discover the existence of a galaxy.
Is it far away?
No, shut up. It's of equal size and configuration to the Milky Way galaxy. So this galaxy is drifting into ours, and it's going to drift into our galaxy and merge with our galaxy. Now the problem is that in one of the solar systems, it's the same makeup as our solar system. So there's a planet that occupies the exact place that Earth also occupies. And so what happens is when the galaxies combine, Earth and this other planet are going to collide and they'll be destroyed.
I cannot believe I listened to that for a second time.
So you are no. So you are describing not only the established Planet X apocalypse theory, you're describing a movie that already happened. It's called Melancholia, and it sucks dick.
Wait, it exists?
Yeah.
This is a real movie. What?
It's a movie by, I can't remember his name. It's starring Kristen Dunst, who won a Cannes Best Actress Award for a movie that features her taking a piss on a golf course in her wedding dress.
Wait, so
yeah.
Wait, what?
How is this movie about the universe, about galaxies combining? I'm really
it's not
confused
galaxies,
right now.
but basically it's the Planet X apocalypse theory. There's a giant planet on a collision course with Earth, nothing to do about it, planets collide and blow up.
Okay. Well, there was more to my movie.
There was. It was bad.
Yeah, because Liam Neeson he plays the lead scientist because he doesn't really care about the movie roles he plays at this point. And Megan Fox is his estranged daughter. And Liam Neeson discovers the whole thing about the galaxies combining and Earth getting destroyed by this other planet. So what they do is they have to figure out a way to prevent Earth from being destroyed by this other planet, right? And so what they're going to do is they are going to build either they have to build a bomb to destroy the other planet so that it's not in the way of Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they only have enough materials to build either the bomb itself or a shield to protect Earth from the bomb. So if they use the bomb to destroy the other planet, Earth is going to be destroyed by the fallout. So instead, what they do is they do build the shield after all, and then using all the remaining raw materials, they use a pair of massive thrusters to to move the moon so that it crashes into the other planet and destroys it, and then that planet's moon becomes our moon. And that's how they save the day.
I hate you so much.
And then I guess the shield just stays in orbit over the Earth forever. And so when I was able to stop Hannah from attempting to punch me in the parking lot at Safeway, I realized that I had a really, really terrible disaster movie on my hands, and I was very proud of myself.
I like the casting of Liam Neeson and Megan Fox, though. That might actually work.
Liam Neeson doesn't give a shit about any role he plays anymore. He was in that stupid squirrel movie I watched, that animated CGI film that I watched. Yeah. He was, okay. So there's this movie on Netflix right now.
The Nut Job, that's what it was, right?
Yeah, The Nut Job. It's about these squirrels who are going to try and find enough food for winter. They come across a store that sells like peanuts and stuff, and so they come up with a plot to rob it. This is a mostly unremarkable movie. It's pretty inoffensive.
Hey, we're back on heist movies, though.
We actually are back on heist movies. It's pretty inoffensive. It's very generic. There's a lot of dialogue that only exists to advance the plot and doesn't fit the established characters and stuff, but that's fine. The reason that this movie is weird to me is because, like, when the squirrel, whose name is Surly, by the way, he's Surly Squirrel, he sees the storefront of the peanut store and he realizes he's going to rob it and his eyes get really big and the Heavenly Choir plays and then he starts dancing to the instrumental intro of Gangnam Style for like a minute and a half. Him and his sidekick are doing this. And then he stops and is like, all right, we're going to break in and steal this stuff, but we're going to do it my way, as if they've done anything any other way up to this point in the film. And so then the film proceeds as normal. Liam Neeson plays the raccoon who's in charge of the forest community, and it turns out he's a bad guy. And so it's just a generic movie. And then at the end, the fucking Gangnam Style guy, Psy, appears in the end credits and dances to Gangnam Style with the rest of the cast for the entire end credits of the film. Like, there's no context for this. There's no build up to this happening. There's no reason that this should exist, and it does. And I sat there staring at my phone where I was watching it on Netflix at 2 a.m, just going, what? And I don't understand. I was as baffled about this film as Hannah was about my shitty disaster movie, or when we tried to watch Metal Tornado on Netflix the other day.
Oh my god, I only got halfway through it. Like, I was the one who said we should watch this. She actually was, yeah, it was her idea. And she was actually throwing things at the television. It was bad. I kept gathering things to throw at the television.
With Melancholia, when the whole golf course wedding dress thing happened, I tapped out.
I don't like any part of the sentence.
I'm like, this is a disaster movie? Yeah, no.
So I read about this, I think. So the whole point is when they find out this is happening, they decide there's nothing they can do about it, so everybody just decides, fuck it, and they do whatever they want until they're gonna die. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less. And Kiefer Sutherland is in it, and he kills himself, and then at the end of the movie, Kirsten Dunst, her sister, and her sister's kid sit on a hill, and the planet gets eaten by the other planet. So, I mean, at the very least, it's a disaster movie with the balls to literally kill everyone, but, you know.
I guess.
Well, there is that. It's better than 2012 did, because the 2012, the neutrinos are mutating, and then, 8 days later, everything's fine, and apparently the neutrinos haven't mutated anymore. Did they mutate back? I don't know. But
well, there was another movie that was it Numbers or whatever? It wasn't, I think it might have been a Nicolas Cage film. It was a disaster movie where he was realizing this mathematical pattern predicted the end of the world.
And that one's that one actually kills almost the entire planet as well. That one's
but then at the end, everyone's rescued by aliens or something, right?
The children are rescued by aliens.
Yes, yeah. I remember that movie, and that one came out like something like 10 years ago, didn't it?
I've never seen it. I just read the DVD.
I think?
Yeah.
It was 2007 because I was working at Target and I was reading the DVD cover when it came out, and I read about the plot later and found out that aliens were in it.
I actually watched it in theaters.
So 6 years.
I actually watched it in theaters, and it was the worst decision I have made in a very long time.
Can I just say though that when you don't know, like, there's aliens, but you don't know what they're doing or what the plot of that sort of stuff is, the aliens part is the stuff with the aliens is pretty creepy for the most part. I mean, there's that at least. So Hannah, so you've seen 2012,
I
correct?
have.
Did you ever watch the alternate ending?
No, I didn't actively seek it out because it probably would have made me throw things at my TV again.
Yeah, she doesn't hate
Yeah.
herself, so of
Right.
course she
Okay.
didn't.
So you know how the guy that discovers that basically the world is ending,
Right.
and how like his dad and his friend are on that cruise ship that obviously totally is done and sunk by this tidal wave.
Right?
The alternate ending shows them survived. Like the dad is still alive, the friend has a broken arm. They're like beached on a rock or something, and it's just like how.
What?
Like there's no explanation. It's just we saw this boat go under and get capsized. This isn't the SS Anne situation. Like the boat is still there. They're still on the boat, and it's like safe. And it's just like
How?
no,
That is
like-
not a. That is how.
I don't
But
know.
no.
I've been trying to find people to talk to about it and see if we can get an explanation, but no, I have no clue.
You know what? This is my new life goal. I am going to create a disaster movie and make it actually believable.
I am all for that. Let's
Can I
do
help?
that.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
please.
we've all grown up with disaster movies, and we all know science to a certain degree.
And you know what? I'm going to hire Michael Bay simply so he can make suggestions and I can punch him in the face every time.
He's got a pretty good eye for effects, at least.
No, he does. I will let him design explosions. And then other than that,
That's the
every
thing
time
that
he
I
tries
like.
to make a decision in any other, directorial manner, I will just punch him in the face until he is unconscious. And then next time he wakes up, if he makes another suggestion like that, I'll just punch him in the face again.
Well, and I mean, I don't know science as well as I do know a lot of writing conventions, a lot of storytelling stuff I think would actually be useful for this kind of film, because I pay attention to enough movies that I know, like I thought for a while I was going to be a movie director. I know how movies are made to a degree, and I know how stories should be told, so I can at least help with that part, even if my science is not that good.
Well, that's why we'd make a great team.
Yeah.
And that's why you and I
have
should write, edit, and direct the Mass Effect TV series that should totally be a thing
I
at
would
some point.
love to make that a thing. That'd be so rad. Because what you do is you have two separate TV series. One is Male Shepherd, one is Female Shepherd.
4 separate, because then you have to have Paragon and Renegade for each one.
I don't know about that so much. I think if you write it correctly, you could have a character embody both things based
that's
on what
true.
the fans are going to prefer most. Because, like, a well-written character is going to be both Paragon and Renegade. So, if you get that balance right, I think you can do one series for each Shepherd, and that's all you have to
That's
do.
true.
Yeah.
Or you could have, Male Shepherd be Renegade and Female Shepherd be Paragon or something like that.
Actually, that would probably work a lot better.
It would.
Well, there you go. Yeah. See? Now we just need money.
But would that would a Paragon female challenge the
It wouldn't actually...
female conventions of characters and things like that?
That is true. It actually would be more... It would cleave more to traditional depictions of female characters and stuff. She'd
It
be like
would,
Janeway.
but not in the way that the Paragon Female Shepherd is portrayed in the actual Mass Effect games.
That is fair. Yeah,
Which
in
is
the
how
actual...
I played her, but I don't remember how it were all worked out. It's been a
Well,
while.
in this household, we play nothing but Mass Effect constantly, apparently. So, I've seen Paragon
and
Female
by
Shepherd.
that's me.
I watch you play.
It's
that
true.
helps.
That's true.
I help.
I took apart my Xbox and my Xbox controllers in order to give them an N7 theme. Like, that's...
She
I
just painted
have...
the face of her Xbox and her controllers.
On the Xbox, I have Paragon and Renegade emblems and the Spectre emblem and the Systems Alliance. So it's a little overkill.
Hannah loves sci-fi like I love kaiju stuff.
It's true, and I adore Mass Effect and Stargate SG-1 for the very specific reasons that they actually put thought and time and research into their science and still executed flawless storytelling.
Yeah. Well, not always flawless, but at least really, really above everything else that's out there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll just about do it for this episode of ShallowCast.
Well, first of all, I want to thank myself for successfully diverting conversation away from the core after I tried a couple times and it didn't work.
You tried and you eventually succeeded, but mostly because I couldn't tolerate much more discussion because that movie sucks.
I'll just
Yeah,
say that 2012 is an okay movie. It doesn't get boring until they hit China, and then it grinds to a halt.
I remember watching Deep Impact. That's
I like
a
that movie
disaster
too.
movie.
Yep.
Because Morgan Freeman is the president in that one, right?
Yep, he sure is.
Yeah.
And he actually survives the movie, unlike Danny Glover in 2012.
Xander, you are not allowed to have opinions on movies anymore.
I think we voted on that before, actually.
We did, and yet
how
we
is
still
saying
have a
that-
podcast.
How is
That's
saying that
true.
Morgan Freeman at least survives the movie an opinion? That's
Well, that's
a
not-
fact.
No,
That's
that
not an
wasn't the
opinion so
opinion.
much.
That wasn't
That's
the
not the
opinion I was
opinion.
judging.
Yeah.
The opinion I was judging was that 2012 was an okay movie.
Or that The Core was a good movie.
Ugh.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, you're
buddy.
outvoted.
I mean, that's kind of the thing we have
you're
on the
voted
show.
off the island.
That's kind of how the show works, is that I take us off on tangents that are weirdly liberally biased, and Xander takes us off on trying to defend absolute garbage in the media, and Hannah has scientific knowledge that overwhelms all other thought, and that's what we do. That's ShallowCast.
Yeah,
Once
basically.
again, I'd like to mention that I own Godzilla 98 on Blu-ray.
I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face.
No, don't do it.
Welcome back to ShallowCast. It's ShallowCast 2014. We're back. Wait. Shit. Whatever. We're back.
I think there's a 5 in there somewhere.
2514.
That works.
2054.
2054.
Okay.
We should do a fake ShallowCast 2054 and just talk about fake pop culture 540 years in the future.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I actually really want to do that now. Oh my god, the quiz could be about fake pop culture from the... No, that's too elaborate. But that's a really fun idea for an episode.
Fake inventions from the future.
Fake inventions in the future. Well, anyway, thank you for listening
I
to
bet
ShallowCast.
that quiz would be
We're
totally Shay.
back
Sway.
for-
Damn it.
Sway. You already screwed it up.
Damn
You screwed
it.
it up. Go, shut up, Xander.
This has been
I have
ShallowCast.
this has been ShallowCast. I have been and probably will be for at least 2 more months. Nathan Soros. You can find me on Tumblr and Twitter with both of those titles. With me were my co-hosts. What's his face in the other one?
I am Black Hole Girl, also found on Tumblr and Twitter with that also username, Black Hole Girl, which Instagram too, I guess, but really the only one I'm ever functional on is Tumblr. But
None of us,
go for it.
None of us ever
Also-
use Instagram anymore.
I don't. That's true.
Yeah.
I use it for when I buy new Funko stuff.
Yeah.
Also
That's true.
Xbox Live. Apparently I have an Xbox Live name and my name is Nathan. I just found that as we were putting the Xbox together and getting it set up on the internet.
Good
so that's
times.
a thing.
So I can be found on Twitter and Xbox Live as Xander Grimm. And then on Tumblr, I am there as the Xander Grimm Show, because that'll
Yeah.
be a thing eventually.
Someday. Maybe.
Someday.
That's
Work
another one
ethic
of my.
providing, yeah.
That's another one of my New Year's resolutions.
That's a good one to have.
I like that.
So, yeah, thanks for listening to ShallowCast. We have been whoever the hell we are, and we will be back. This is going to be a big year for things in general, and so the show is about talking about things, so hopefully that means more show.
I just want to say that whenever you want to listen to ShallowCast, I'll be there for you.
I don't get it.
When that shield collapses, microwave radiation will literally cook our planet.